everybody. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley with your latest forecast here on CBS News Baltimore. It turned out to be another nice afternoon after a very comfortable start, courtesy of that cold front that came through a couple of days ago, brought a nice drop in humidity. That same front's going to lift back to the north as a warm front throughout the day Saturday. What it's going to do is crank the temperatures up for the weekend and also the humidity. But along with that, we're going to have a chance for some storms. So we'll keep a close eye on how things will play out. It does look like the greatest threat for severe weather tomorrow is going to be really from I-95 westward, particularly for western Maryland, because we're going to be watching a couple of different features. The warm front as it lifts northward through the area, which could spark off a storm or two, and then a prefrontal trough of low pressure that usually sets up just right along the I-81 corridor, a little bit east of there, and sometimes that can fire off a storm or two as well. It's kind of like an area of convergence where the winds come together, air rises, and you get storms popping up. We'll see if that can fire off a couple of storms during the afternoon. But anything that does develop is going to be isolated in nature, so we don't expect a whole widespread event, and we don't expect everyone to get rain. But if any storms do happen to develop here or for your Saturday afternoon and evening, they will be severe given the environment that's in place. Now, going into Sunday, the threat shifts a little bit farther towards the east. It includes most of the, at least all the eastern shore, southern Maryland, back towards the west, almost to I-81. And that's where we expect damaging winds and maybe the threat for an isolated tornado, although it looks like wind damage is going to be the greatest threat from those storms on Sunday. So again, the focus tomorrow is going to be later in the evening into the overnight hours, particularly for far western Maryland. The storm should weaken as they get a little bit closer to us, but those storms may try to make a run towards Baltimore here by late tomorrow night. And then that isolated tornado threat is going to be focused with any isolated storms that develop during the afternoon and evening, maybe with the trough, maybe with the front, the warm front as it lifts through, and with some upper level energy coming in from the west. And then on Sunday, we're going to be watching the afternoon and evening hours for development along the front as it pushes southward, with the storms growing in intensity as they make their way southward across the area. Futurecast will show you that. We're going to see a few more clouds overnight into tomorrow morning as that low-level moisture starts to stream back into the area. And we'll be watching during the afternoon for storms to pop up. Notice that we don't really have much development during the afternoon hours, so your Saturday plans, you should be fine. Temps are going to get into the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. It's going to be a warm and humid afternoon, but we're going to be watching storms that are going to try to fire up out here at the higher elevations, and some of those storms, given the environment, could rotate and potentially produce a few isolated tornadoes. We'll keep you updated on that. Then other storms in Ohio and Pennsylvania will likely form into a line, and we're going to see this thing try to make a run at the northern border of Maryland, although I do think they'll try to weaken as they get closer, given the fact that we'll be getting into the late night hours on Saturday into Sunday morning. The atmosphere won't be quite as unstable as it would be during the afternoon, so the storms won't have as much fuel. So they should start falling apart as they get closer, but you know, it's one of those things we just got to watch it as it develops. Then on Sunday, we'll start off dry, and the front will start to fire off more storms during the afternoon. There's some question as to exactly how far west these storms are going to fire up. Will they be back here, or will they be just east of I-95? Either way you look at it, they're going to organize, grow, and push southward, and then eventually we're going to see things dry out here for the early part of next week. Highs tomorrow topping out around 90 degrees, a few showers and storms possible during the late afternoon and evening hours. Again, the focus is going to be western Maryland tomorrow, and then coming up on Sunday, most of the region will see a chance for some severe storms. It'll be warmer on Sunday with highs in the mid to upper 90s, heat index over 100, and then humidity drops off once again for Monday and Tuesday.